Outsourcing is more than just a cost savings. How can outsourcing improve your local team and also improve the success for your company locally? Hi, my name is Bryan, and I'm the host of the Philippine Business Playbook podcast and also the CEO of Tache. In this episode, we're going to talk about how outsourcing is not only a cost savings for your company, but also can improve your local team and increase your speed to market and give you success in the long term for your business. So let's get into it. So number one, obviously you're going to have a cost savings, but really, if you're looking at it beyond that, you're going to have access to an exceptional talent pool. It's not only going to be a lower cost, it's going to be a higher level of talent. If you're thinking about this properly, you're not only looking for a junior person to do easy work, you're looking for senior people to advance your company. Additionally, at Tache, we've got 16 recruiters that are highly skilled at vetting people and really bringing in top quality. I know a lot of our small and medium-sized companies, those entrepreneurs, those leaders, they may not have the time, the bandwidth to really go through a vetting process in bringing in new employees. And a lot of times that means you're bringing in employees and you're not having the high level of success. Maybe it's 50%, maybe it's 30%. And that means you're constantly cycling through new employees, trying to find that right person for the job that you need them to do. If you have a highly skilled talent acquisition team behind you that's going through all the processes that needs to be done that most entrepreneurs know about but just don't have the time to do, whether it's background checks, skills assessments, even criminal background checks, and really looking into the history, the skills that they have, the work history that they have to make sure that they really are high-level, competent employees for your business, you're going to end up with better employees, and that means less turnover, and that means that your company can then advance quicker, which means you can go after new projects, you can go after higher-level projects that have a higher pay rate. Those are the advantages of having success with your hires on the first try. And instead of going through 2, 3, 4 people to find the right person. Additionally, with that vetting process, you can go after higher level people. You don't have to just focus on a mid-level person with 3 or 4 years of experience. You can go after somebody that's got 10, 15 years of experience. Recently, I spoke with a fellow entrepreneur that talks about for their accounting firm, they only go after people that work for the big 4 accounting firms with offices here in the Philippines. So they're talking to people that work at JP Morgan Chase, Ernst & Young, other huge companies, and work there for 3 or 4 years and are maybe burned out by that environment. I know in the Philippines, a lot of people that are really highly skilled, valedictorians of their classes, they go to those big 4 companies because they got the name. And oftentimes they're not necessarily paid the most there, but they've got the name, they know they're going to get the experience, and then after 3, 4, 5 years, they're maybe considering moving on to another place. And so this entrepreneur that I spoke with, he was saying those are the people that they want. They're going to give them a better salary, they're going to give them a better work-life balance, and they're going to give them a long-term position within their company. And you can imagine if you're bringing in those people, you're really going to advance the skill level within your company and allow you to bring in more work. Number 2, you can really look at costs for your company without compromising the quality of your team. If you can really think about this as a strategic budget allocation for your company. If you're able to reduce the costs in one area, that maybe allows you to put additional costs into another area. So think about that. If you're hiring, again, let's talk about accountants. If you're hiring accountants for your firm and you're able to save a little bit of money on this area, whether it's tax accountants or your mid-level people or even your senior level people, that means that you can then allocate more of those costs to having a higher level of quality within your accounting team, your IT team, your HR team. You can find better people for those skills. There's maybe certain positions within your company that you know that you need to have within the US, right? Whether or not they're on-site salespeople or they're client-facing accounting leads or whatever. If you're able to save money in one area of your business because that work can be done easily within the Philippines, then you can allocate some of those extra funds to finding even better people within those other positions that you need to have within the US. And so if you're looking at it as a strategic balancing of your budget, you can really find ways to leverage the entire company to a higher level, both of your offshore team and your local talent. Additionally, with this budget allocation, you're really going to find this is an effective way to scale your team. Scaling your team where you can look at exactly how your budget is allocated is going to allow you to scale it even faster. If you're not spending as much money on certain roles, you can spend it on other roles, and maybe those roles that you're saving a little bit of money on, you can build that team even faster. So whereas maybe in the past you would have only hired 1 or 2 people, now you can hire 4 or 5 people for that role, and that allows you to do even more work at a higher level and grow your team even faster. Number 3, focus on agility and strengthening the core business capabilities of your company. So if you're really thinking about this properly, you're going to be able to strengthen your core business capabilities. You're going to be able to advance the agility of your company by bringing in different skill sets within your company. And one thing that I think really spoke to me when I was speaking with a fellow entrepreneur was about how when they brought on their offshore team and really started working with them and seeing the leadership quality and the skills of that team, they were able to really grow the cultural intelligence of their team. So they were able to expand their understanding of different cultures and different people, and that opened up a whole new client base for them within the US. And so if they showed that they're able to understand different cultures and work with them, there are new clients that was attracted by that cultural intelligence. And so I think that if you are building a team and you have a broad base of employees that has different experiences and different understandings of the world around them, that's going to expand your knowledge within your company. And there's certain clients that really are attracted to that. So for him, they were leaning into that. And they found that they were bringing in clients that would have been unavailable to them otherwise. And I think that that is something that some people don't really think about when they're expanding their team. If you can lean into this new and cultural intelligence that you gain by having an offshore team, what advantages does that give you in looking at new projects for clients within the US? I'm sure that there's clients in the US that would really value that new cultural intelligence that you have within your company. And so leaning into that and finding that untapped market that you would not even have access to in the past is really a superpower that some people don't think about. So that's something that I wanted to share with you so that you can think about when you're growing your team and these new skills now that you're bringing into the company. Next is the enhanced speed to market for your company. So I mentioned before about how you're able to grow your team and really go to market a lot faster. It's beyond just hiring people quickly. There's the opportunity to have a 24/7 operation. There's the opportunity to be working around the clock. And I know that sounds obvious, but if you are thinking about a situation where your team in the US is getting a certain amount of work done or setting things up, and then they're sharing it with the team in the Philippines and they're working on that, they're advancing it to a certain level, and then they're passing it back to the US team. And you can imagine how that workflow allows you to get things done faster. And then with this 24/7 operations, you're then able to go after more work because you're saying that, hey, we can get this work done, if not twice as fast, 25% faster. And that allows you to get work done faster at a lower budget and get in more projects. And that's going to grow your team, make yourself more successful, and make yourself more profitable. I know that when I was working as a civil engineer in New Jersey, I was always wondering, how do these huge companies put in proposals, put in budgets on these projects that are less than what we could do? We were looking at the budgets, and we were, a small engineering firm with, low overhead, and I don't think we were getting paid extravagantly. But when we looked at the budgets that we're putting together, we're like, how is it possible that they're beating us? And then we looked at it and we discovered that these firms all had offices overseas. These engineering firms would have an office across the street from us. I can see them out the window here, where they've got 100 engineers that are working on those projects. And so with their 24/7 operations, leveraging the budgets of the Philippines and the US and allocating that smartly between the US and the Philippines, so that they're not only putting budget into one area, but they're spreading that around to their entire global workforce. They were able to propose budgets that were less than we could do as a small engineering firm in New Jersey. And so if you're looking at that as a 24/7 productivity, you have niche skills that it would be very difficult potentially for you to hire locally within your market, you're going to be able to have skills gaps that are closed by having a global market for your team. And so if you are able to visualize how you can leverage a global team, get more skills for your team, allocate your budget across the globe, and figure out ways to be more efficient, you're going to be able to price your projects less. You're going to be able to get those projects done faster, and that's going to grow your team and allow you to bring on even more people in the US. Pay them more because you're not allocating that money to certain roles that can be done overseas. And that is the success that we're hoping for our clients, that it's not only success for their team in the Philippines, but success for their team in the US, and that it's a global success for everyone. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. I think there's been a few points there that are a little bit deeper than maybe you had thought about in the past, and goes beyond just, hey, you're going to save a lot of money in the Philippines. That can be true, but I think if you don't do it properly and you just look at cost savings, that is not the road to success. You're going to end up going down a road where you're trying to get to the lowest common denominator. You're going to look for the cheapest option. And I don't think that's the path to success. What you want to do is you want to find the allocation of budget that is the best for you, that allows you to have good profit, but also allows you to put money in areas on your US team that you really need to grow, that you want to bring in the highest quality people, and have budget in the Philippines where you know that this can give me high quality people that have maybe skills that we can't find, that's going to give us 24/7 operations, that's going to allow us to really grow that side of the company as well. And so working as a cohesive global company, that's the path to success. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you liked it, please hit that like button. Definitely share this with other companies that you know, other entrepreneurs that you know that are building teams in the Philippines or elsewhere, that maybe already have a team and are really thinking about how they want to operate that, or thinking about doing that in the future. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Why haven't you done that? We definitely want to continue to share some of these tidbits and knowledge with you that I think can help you grow your business. Also, if you didn't know, we're not only on YouTube, we're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so we're trying to grow that community there as well. If you want to listen to these podcasts while you're in your car, that'd be the best place to do that. So consider Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Until next time, I'm Bryan. This has been the Philippine Business Playbook podcast. I'm looking forward to talking to you again.